Greetings, I'm Bill Clackey, and I'd like to welcome you to today's edition of Neighborhood Beat. Our show today looks at insurance in Maryland, and our guest is Karen Hornig, who is Deputy Commissioner of the Maryland Insurance Administration. Thank you, Karen.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you coming. First of all, for those of our viewers who are unfamiliar, and there must be some, could you tell us a little bit about the Maryland Insurance Administration?
Sure. We're an independent state agency that is responsible for regulating the insurance industry and helping consumers with issues that they have around insurance. The Maryland Insurance Administration has been around since the middle of the 19th century. It's one of our oldest state agencies and a very effective agency in the regulation of insurance.
Middle of the 19th century.
That's right, yes.
That's going to cause a little education in the history of insurance there, huh?
That's right. Insurance is a very old concept, actually. There's evidence throughout history in China, in Greece, in Egypt, that the concept of insurance has existed for a very, very long time. And in the United States, it grew up out of insurance policies for homeowners whose homes needed to be protected from fire. And there were some incidents in the early part of the insurance industry's history that it was clear that regulation was needed, that companies needed to have sufficient reserves to pay claims. And that's one of the important things that we continue to do to this day, is to make sure that insurance companies invest wisely, invest conservatively, and have sufficient funds to be able to pay the claims for their policyholders.
All right, thank you, yes. What do you do for the agency?
As the Deputy Commissioner, I assist the Commissioner in managing the agency. I right now am very involved with our efforts in implementing federal health care reform, and I am one of the hearing officers for the agency. So consumers who have issues with a company and are dissatisfied with how that issue is resolved are entitled to a hearing. And we have a wide range of special projects, such as legislation, different studies and reports that we do for both the Governor and the General Assembly, and I assist with those things as well.
Great, thank you. How long have you been with the agency?
It'll be 5 years next month, 5 years in June.
5 years, so you know where the bones are buried, right?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. And you had a background in insurance?
I have some background in insurance. I'm a lawyer and have practiced for many years now. I won't say how long. And insurance is such an integral part of the business world and of issues involving claims that people have or lawsuits that people have. Insurance is always involved in those kinds of things.
Yeah, and it touches all aspects of our life, doesn't it?
It really does. It is. I always say it is the most. It is the thing that people spend the most money on that they know the least about. We all tend to have lots of different kinds of insurance. Homeowners or renters insurance, automobile insurance, which you're required to have in Maryland, health insurance, life insurance. But when you talk to people about what those policies actually cover, people know very little about what those policies actually say.
Let's talk about that today. That's one of the many reasons why I wanted to have you on. First, let's talk about homeowners insurance. Sure. And I guess renters insurance. What is it, and what should people watch out for?
Right. Homeowners insurance is designed to protect the asset of the building and the contents of your home from loss. So if there's a fire, if there's a theft, if there's some kind of vandalism, that's what homeowners insurance is designed to protect. For renters, obviously you're just protecting what's inside your home, your personal property. For homeowners insurance, it's both your home, your personal property, and also most homeowners insurance have what's called liability protection. So if someone, for example, hurt themselves while they were on your property, that could protect you from any liability. And many homeowners insurance policies also have additional living expenses. So if something, for example, if you had a fire in your home and you couldn't live in that home for a period of time, there's provision for additional living expenses for you living somewhere else. What homeowners insurance is not is a substitute for a homeowner's responsibility to adequately maintain their property. And the example is, is a roof. It is a perfect example. A homeowner's insurance policy will cover damage to your roof if it is damaged because a tree falls on it, for example. However, if your roof begins to leak because it's 35 years old and there's never been any ongoing maintenance to it, that's not a loss that is protected by a homeowner's policy. That's wear and tear. So that's a distinction that's very important.
And I know that if you get a mortgage, you're required to have homeowners insurance.
That's true. I don't know of any lender that does not require homeowners insurance. And
but I'm sorry, for renters, it's really there's no requirement at all.
There is not, although there are certain apartment complexes that do require their tenants to have renters insurance. And it is very affordable, and I really encourage people to take the time and make the investment, because if you don't have it and there is a terrible flood or a fire in the apartment complex, or if the apartment upstairs has an overflow and a lot of your personal property is damaged as a result of that, the landlord is not responsible for your personal property. Yeah. They're only responsible for repairing the apartment itself.
Great, thank you, thank you. What's the best way for folks to buy homeowners insurance and renters insurance?
It's very important that people comparison shop. Don't just go by what you hear on television advertising. There are lots of options for people. Certainly the big national companies are an option, but there are a lot of very excellent smaller mutual companies that are domiciled here in Maryland that really are excellent. Maryland has one of the oldest perpetual insurance companies in the country, Baltimore Equitable. And people don't know about these wonderful smaller insurance companies, and they really should take the time to find out what their different options are. And a licensed insurance professional can help explain what all their different options are. And the Maryland Insurance Administration has many, many resources for people who are in the market for an insurance product. We have online tools, we have brochures that can be sent to people, and we have people who can actually speak to you on the telephone about specific questions about insurance.
Great. How can someone find out more information?
We have a website, and we also have toll-free numbers that people can call into the MIA.
Great, great, great. Yeah, I know it is a good website. It is a very good website. And that's a good place for people to start, really,
yes,
when it comes to first of all, learning about insurance.
And I'd suggest that if you're a consumer, there's a consumer tab, click on that and start there. And there are also tabs based on the different types of insurance that you're interested in.
Yeah, that's it. And it's very important, as you've said, to shop around.
It really is, because depending on your circumstances, depending on the type of home that you have, the age of the home, all those factors go into your homeowner's insurance. If you haven't evaluated the amount of homeowners insurance that you have had in a very long time, many people have lived in their homes for many years, it's important to periodically have your property looked at by an insurance agent to see if you actually need to increase the amount of insurance you're covering on your property. Because there's nothing more upsetting than to have a terrible situation where your home is damaged and to find that that your policy limits are not sufficient to cover your actual loss.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's also important to know the difference between homeowners insurance and flood insurance.
That's right. Many people think that flood is covered under homeowners insurance, and it is not. You have to have a separate flood insurance policy, and they are underwritten by the National Flood Insurance Program. They can be purchased through various agents, but it is all through the National Flood Insurance Program. Marylanders need to think long and hard about flood insurance. We have many, many miles of coastline because of the tidal coastline, because of our Atlantic coast, but also because of the Chesapeake Bay. So the majority of Marylanders live in an area that can be significantly affected by hurricanes and tropical storms that can cause flooding. So hurricane season's beginning June 1st, so I would really encourage everybody to take some time and look into the purchase of flood insurance.
And the best place to start would be the MIA's website?
Sure. You can start with the MIA's website. There's also an excellent website through the National Flood Insurance Program.
Great. I think it's flood.gov.
I think it is.
But so one could easily search for that and find out. But the important thing is, do it today.
Yes, we have seen over the last few years, we've had some very significant storms come up the East Coast. Maryland was incredibly lucky that Sandy was just a glancing blow, except for the folks down in Crisfield who did have a lot of damage. But certainly compared to New York and New Jersey, Maryland really was spared. But that could be us the next time, and it's very important that people have sufficient coverage.
Absolutely, absolutely. As well as it's very important also that folks be aware of the new health insurance changes.
That's right. The state of Maryland has been working for the last 3 years to implement the Federal Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, known as the ACA. And we are in the home stretch in terms of, at the Maryland Insurance Administration right now, we are reviewing contracts and rates that health insurance companies have filed for plans that they want to sell on the Maryland Health Benefit Exchange, which is also called the Maryland Connection. And people who purchase individual health insurance policies or small group policies will be able to start purchasing on the Maryland Exchange beginning in October. Open enrollment begins on October 1st for individual policies and January 1st of 2014 for small group policies. And all of the insurance that's available in the exchange is private insurance. It's all private insurance companies. But what consumers will be able to do is have the opportunity to compare and really study the various options that are available to them on the individual and small group market.
And who are, excuse me, who are the folks that are most affected by the health reform changes, and who should be most attentive in October?
I'd say the people who are most affected are those people who currently cannot get or have very difficult times getting insurance because of a pre-existing medical condition. Under the Affordable Care Act, health insurance companies can no longer medically underwrite individuals. That means they can no longer exclude you from coverage because of a pre-existing condition. So if individuals have individual policies that have a medically underwritten exclusion, that all changes effective January 1st. They can no longer have that kind of exclusion. So there are going to be lots more options for those folks through the exchange.
Great, great. And where should they start?
Again, our website is a terrific place to start. We have a whole section on the implementation of healthcare reform, and there's a link on our website to the Maryland Health Benefit Exchange.
Great. And I guess folks can, a word of advice is do it now.
Do it now, and they can sign up for updates, both from our website and from the Maryland Health Benefit Exchange. So people who really, again, people who have individual plans or plans that in the small group market, they can get ongoing updates and about what the dates are and any important announcements.
Okay, great, great. And that address one more time is?
For the Maryland website,
Yes.
is www.md.state.us.gov.
Okay, great, great. Thank you. Thank you. We've talked about, and I should underline that even though we've been advocating folks buy renter's insurance and buy various types of insurance, we get no commercial consideration for that. But what we do want to tell folks, though, is it's important to, when you are going to buy insurance, that you do a lot of self-education before you do it.
That's correct. Again, insurance companies spend enormous sums of money on national advertising. You can't watch a Ravens game without seeing a lot of insurance advertising during the game. And while that's all fine and often very entertaining, it is not the best source of real information about what you need as an individual. And there's certainly a lot of information available on different companies' websites. And companies have made it far easier to purchase insurance online. But I would really encourage people who are considering a big purchase of homeowners insurance or life insurance, annuities, those kinds of things, really, even automobile insurance, to make sure that you're getting really the best deal that you can get and that you have all the coverages that you need. You know, the lowest price is no longer low if at the end of the day you need that insurance and you don't have sufficient coverage. So I really encourage people to talk to licensed insurance producers about what their needs are. Seek out a good insurance, and when we say producer, we mean insurance agent. Get recommendations from friends or members of your church or family members about who they've used in the past. It's really important to get expert professional advice about these purchases.
Yeah, that's good advice. That's good advice, and it always helps to get that personal connection.
Absolutely, and one of the things that's different about insurance than some other purchases is how you pay and the consequences of not paying your insurance premium on time.
Yeah, please tell us more.
It's not like paying your credit card late, where you'll just have it'll roll over to the next month. Your balance will roll over to the next month, and you'll have a late fee. An insurance contract is different, and you have to pay the premium on time, or your insurance will lapse, and that can have a dramatic consequence if you end up having a claim occur during the period that the insurance has lapsed. And for automobile insurance, if you allow your automobile insurance to lapse in Maryland, you will get a significant fine from the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration. So you have to be very aware of when premium payments are due, make sure that they are on time. And often it's best to set up an installment plan if you can't pay the whole year in advance. And that way they can be automatically deducted from your bank account.
That's the way to avoid it being overdue.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's the way. And frankly, that's peace of mind, too.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and after all, that's part of what we buy insurance for.
Right. But people have to keep in mind it's very different from a lot of other purchases in terms of the timing of payment. Timing of payment is critical.
Yeah. Let's talk about what options consumers have when something goes wrong.
The first thing they need to do is immediately contact their carrier. Regardless of the type of insurance, contact your carrier immediately. For homeowner's loss, for example, homeowner also has the responsibility to mitigate the loss. What does that mean? That means if a tree has come through your roof, try to tarp that, put boards up on windows, try to prevent additional damage from occurring to your property. What you don't do, however, is go ahead and begin repairs until the adjuster has evaluated your property and given you the go-ahead for those repairs. So it's very important that you work closely with your insurance company, with your insurance adjuster through the process. Keep good records. Even if you are a very disorganized person, this is the time to be very organized. Keep all your receipts. Track the names of the people that you've spoken to at the insurance company, when you spoke to them. Take notes on what you were told. And always, always keep all of the estimates, written estimates. Ask for written estimates. Don't accept any work based on just an oral contract. And be very careful with home improvement contractors that it is somebody of good reputation who's licensed by the Maryland Division of License and Labor in Maryland, and it's called DLRR in Maryland. And because many times when there is a natural disaster, for example, you will see a lot of contractors flood the area, and people can often be taken advantage of by less than scrupulous individuals seeking to do a lot of work very quickly. So you want to make sure that you really have very reputable contractors doing the work.
Right. What if somebody has a, thank you for that. What if somebody has a problem with their insurer?
If you have a problem with your insurer, that's when the Maryland Insurance Administration is your best resource for life and health insurance or for property and casualty insurance. We have units that do nothing but handle consumer complaints. They are available 5 days a week, usually from 8:30 to 4:30. But you can file a claim online, you can leave a voicemail message in off hours, and somebody will get back to you very quickly. So if you believe there is an issue with the amount of your premium, a premium increase, if you think that your claims have not been appropriately handled and appropriately adjusted by your insurance company, you can contact the Maryland Insurance Administration, and we will investigate your claim.
Right, right, and they can contact that either online or through the telephone or coming in person.
That's true. We're located at 200 St. Paul Street in downtown. You can come to our building and ask to speak with somebody, obviously during regular business hours.
Right, great, thank you. And I know that you've mentioned automobile and annuities. Annuities is something that I don't think many people know what annuities are. Could you please tell us a little bit about those?
Annuities are considered a form of life insurance. Traditional life insurance, you pay your premiums during the course of your life, and then your beneficiaries have the benefit of that policy after your death. Annuities are different. They are designed to provide you with regular payments, typically monthly payments, during the course of your life. It is a type of investment vehicle that falls under the umbrella of insurance. They can be very complicated. There are lots of different kinds of them, and you have to be very clear about what you are purchasing when you look at either life insurance, and there's a product now called universal life insurance policies, and annuity policies. I strongly, strongly encourage people to get professional advice before purchasing one of these products.
Yeah, and that means going on the website, talking to friends?
Well, beyond that, I would say you would want either to talk to a financial advisor who is also a licensed insurance agent, or speak with an insurance agent about what the various products are.
What's the best way to find some of those folks?
Well, we don't make recommendations, professional recommendations on individual insurance agents, but what you can do is when you do have a referral, or you find somebody in your neighborhood or in your town, you can make sure through the Maryland Insurance Administration that they are a licensed insurance producer, and they are in good standing. And you can do that either through contacting us through the website or through calling the insurance administration.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. We've just got a couple minutes left, Karen, and I wanted to give you some time to mention anything else that we haven't covered yet.
Well, one of the things that the Maryland Insurance Administration does a lot of community outreach, and we have lots of events in different areas throughout the state. And you can find the schedule of events online. You can find schedule events by calling us. And you can also ask that somebody from our consumer advocacy unit come and talk to a community group that you have, a church group that you have, a group that you think would benefit from talking about insurance.
So the Health Reform Act or annuities or any of these things that we've mentioned.
Sure. If you live in a community where people really need flood insurance, and there seems to be a lot of confusion about what flood insurance does and what you have to do in order to get it. We have people who are very expert in all of these areas and would be happy to come to your area of the state. We come to all counties. From the far eastern shore to Allegheny and Garrett County, and are more than happy to do that. So I really encourage people to use us as a resource. That's what we're here for.
Great. And cost?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's part of our statutory mandate to provide consumer education, and this is part of the way that we fulfill that mandate.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's a wonderful service, and we've mentioned several things today that I need to do a little bit more research on myself. So and I know that just understanding the flood insurance and understanding the Health Reform Act is going to keep you folks busy.
That's right. We're very busy right now, and
Yes.
but that's a wonderful thing. We're happy to be busy.
Indeed. We're about out of time, Karen. Could you give us that contact information one more time, please, for the Maryland Insurance Administration?
It's www.mdinsurance.state.md.us is our website. And there is also a 1-800 number that I can't remember, Bill. I'm sorry.
That's quite all right. They can go on the website or...
Yeah, and I think it'll be on the screen so that people have the opportunity to write that down.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. For Neighborhood Beat, that's all we have time for today. I want to thank our guest, Ms. Karen Hornig, for being our guest today.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you, Karen. Keep up your good work for all of us.
Thank you very much.
And for me and Neighborhood Beat, I want to thank you for tuning in. Let's try to be a good neighbor out there in all of our neighborhoods, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.